guys, it's me, Amber, and thanks for coming to the Movie Watching Sisters channel. Yay! Okay, so today I want to talk to you guys about Wicked. So let me just say that these are my personal opinions. If you agree with it, then great. If you don't, it's fine. I understand. I also want to say that this will involve some spoilers, but I'm not going to completely spoil the film. Of course not, because a lot of people haven't seen it, yet. And a lot of you are going to go see it over the weekend. But if you haven't seen it, and there are going to be a few things that I say that you might want to wait and come back after you see the film. And then, leave your comments down below on what you agree with and what you don't disagree with, and tell me your thoughts, because I would love to hear your thoughts about this film. This is simply just my opinion and my thoughts of the film and my enjoyment of the film. So let's get started. First, I want to say, before I get into the whole review, that I am not a big musical person, but I am a huge Wizard of Oz fan. So I've seen everything there is to do with Wizard of Oz. And I've even read, some of the books. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't read all of the books. I haven't had a chance to read all of them, but I've read some of them. So I really was not excited to go see this film. And it's not because I don't love The Wizard of Oz. It's just, like I said, I'm not a big musical person. So it was even shocking for me to even love The Wizard of Oz or even The Wiz or stuff like that. But they're good films, so it makes sense why I would even love them and fall in love with them, right? So it makes sense why I would watch them and go, hey, yeah, I love the musical numbers. And of course, they're on my playlist and I'm listening to them and they're so good. You just can't help but to love them. So I was ecstatic that I was actually, finding musicals that I like. But my mom wanted to go see this and she convinced me to go see it. And I'm glad she did, because, even though I'm not huge on musical numbers and movies, I'm glad I did go see it. I think that the performances by the actresses were amazing. I think they did a great job of portraying the characters that they were portraying in this film. I especially love the two leads, Cynthia and Arya. Chemistry, they blew my mind. They convinced me that they were two friends who saw things differently. Well, they weren't friends, enemies to friends, I guess, in a way. But, people who, bought out the best in each other. Glinda, she was named Good because she really didn't do anything good, to be rewarded the title Good, but they called her Good. You can see that her and her peers were kind of really not the good kind. They kind of, manipulated situations and called themselves good even when they weren't doing anything good. And I think that was a good, thing for the character to be able to develop into something better. Even though Glinda really didn't go the route. Before anybody say this, I am basing it off the film. I'm not basing it off of, the original Broadway musical. This is just my thoughts on the film. So if you're saying, oh, this is look, this is just my take and I'm basing it off the film. So let me get back to my point. Sorry. I just wanted to put that out there because I know how people go, well, the Broadway film, I mean, a Broadway musical, not film, Broadway musical, and I'm just basing this off of my opinion from what I watched on the film. Just want to clarify that before I go on. Anyway, back to my point. And I kind of thought that having Glinda being the good, and she really, wasn't really portrayed that way, but eventually she learned from her mistakes because of her friendship with Alphaba. And I love that. And I love Alphaba, who was, she's green, and so everybody thinks she's bad and she's wicked, but she wasn't. She really had a good soul and good heart. She cared about the animals. She cared about making Oz a better place. And she was also terrified of her power, but she was also, trying to protect her sister, even though a lot of things her sister was kind of embarrassed of her. And she was just such a good person in the film. And the way the movie took the roles, and we saw and I have to say this, my favorite scene is between the two lead characters when she gave her the hat and everybody was laughing, and Glinda felt so bad for giving her that hat, and Alphaba was just dancing and trying to show her pain of, how hurt she was, and Glinda did something good. In the end, she actually went out there and danced with her, and in that moment they connected and they became friends. I just love that moment. That was a good moment. I've seen that moment all across social media, and that is one of my favorite moments of the film. I think it was a beautiful moment, and it showed Ariana Grande's and Cynthia's chemistry, and it really was. I just love that moment. I'm sorry. I got thrown away, but I just loved it. And I also love the chemistry between Jonathan and Cynthia as well. The way how she said he would never love me and he would always choose someone like Glinda. And when they were in that woods and they were talking, and the way they were talking and expressing themselves, and the way she took, I'm trying not to give too much away because I know a lot of you haven't. I hope you not watching this and haven't seen the film. Like, please go see the film first before watching my review, because, like, honestly, this movie was good to me. I will say that I did not like all the musical numbers, and like I said, I'm not saying they were bad, because they weren't bad. It's just that a certain song has to get to me and catch me. So for me, I'm not going to tell you what the numbers are, but I'll let you guess. There's two numbers that I really enjoyed that I'm definitely going to add to my playlist. And I'll have a little fun with you guys. Can you guess what the numbers are? What my favorite numbers are? If there's anybody who's going to comment. But yeah, so I have two favorite numbers that I actually loved in this film, and I'm actually going to add to my playlist. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to add to my playlist. And I think this film was really good. The performances overall was good from each and every one character. I think the cast was beautifully casted. And I think everybody who was cast in their role, they were meant to play that role for this movie. I think that I was not expecting to feel the way that I felt after seeing this film, because I was expecting something totally different. But, and what I mean by that is that, you normally, in The Wizard of Oz, the Wicked Witch is wicked. She's terrifying people and she's the villain, but they never get an explanation on why she's so wicked, besides she wants Dorothy's shoes, right? So in this film, you never know why the Wicked Witch became the Wicked Witch, or why the Wicked Witch of the East became who she is, and why Glinda is considered the Glinda the good of the North. I mean, it is explained that she's nice and she's good to people of Munchkin Land, and she protects Dorothy and everybody, but you never know how they get to point A to point B. And I love stories like this. I do. I love when they tell me why, even if they change things, I still love it. If I could connect to it and I go, oh, I could connect to it, but I can understand why she became this way. I think that's a beautiful way to tell me a story. Honestly, I think that telling me how Glinda became Glinda and how Alphaba became the Wicked Witch of the East, the Wicked Witch of the West, sorry. The Wicked Witch of the West is exactly the kind of story I love to see. I love those kind of stories. For me, I love the backstory. I know a lot of people might not like it. They're fine with, oh, that's the villain, that's how it's going to be. But I love when they do the whole, tell me why Maleficent is going after these people. Tell me why Maleficent is evil. Tell me why, why in Cinderella, why the stepmother is stepmother, why she's the evil stepmother. Like, I love when they go back and tell those kind of stories on how they became who they are and why they are who they become. And I love it. It makes me connect to the character even more when I go back and watch the original films, like The Wizard of Oz. and it makes me see them in a different light. And I'll be like, I understand why she became what she is, but I understand why she had, unfortunately, had to be stopped. It's a narrative of two different things. So for me, I really enjoyed this. Anyway, I really enjoyed this film. I think everybody was beautifully casted for this film. I think the musical numbers were great. I would definitely recommend this movie to go be seen. I'm definitely in for part 2 when it comes out. And if I had to grade it, I would give it the highest grade I could give it. I think that they did a good job. I know a lot of people was complaining about a lot of things in the movie wise, not actually the story wise or the musical numbers. It was more of, you know, the lighting or the costumes or stuff like that. But for me, I think that it was beautiful. I think it's a story that I'm willing to actually sit down and watch Wicked Part 1 again. Like, no joke. Like, when it comes available on streaming, I'm definitely going to be watching it again. I don't know if I'm going to react to it on the channel or not, but I definitely feel like this is something I would watch again. I look forward to it to come out on streaming and watch it again. I definitely would recommend it. If you haven't seen it, please go watch it. It is a good film and it will not disappoint. And I am so excited for part 2 and I can't wait to go see it. And I just have to say that I just want to say that Cynthia and Ariana chemistry is worth it. It's such a beautiful story between them. I'm trying not to give too much away because the movie just came out and I don't want to give too much away, but it is so the way it's put together on how they become enemies to friends, to how their characters push each other to become better, and at the same time you understand why Glenda goes her way and then you understand why Alphaba goes hers. Like, it's a beautiful tale. And as well as you seeing how they became who they are. And just let me say that every cast, you know, you normally have, like, I just want to say that every cast, sometimes you'll go, oh, sometimes the person isn't exactly casted right for this role. Every person in this movie was casted for their role. Especially, I'm sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm doing two different things at once. I'm trying to do a video. I'm doing two things at once. Like, you probably think, what's wrong with you? You doing a video? Why are you trying to do two things at once? I'm sorry, I get distracted. Miss Michelle, she was absolutely amazing in this film. Like, to see her journey, like, I knew what was coming before it even happened with her character. And to see that, I was like, oh my God, I know it's coming, but I don't want it to come. But it's coming, but I don't want it to come. And it came. And to see the tricks of Oz and the wizard who's the trickster of Oz, and to see, because to be honest, when you watch The Wizard of Oz, you always question why this guy is behind doing all these things and why these people worship them, and you always wonder why. Like, the story basically tells you, like, the backstory, and then the surprise guest in the film. I'm not even going to tell you because you got to see it to know. Oh my gosh, when they were telling the story how the wizard became the Wizard of Oz, well, everybody knows the story. He came on in a balloon, and you know what the story went from there. But when they were singing that number and the guests that came out on in that number, I can't wait for you guys to see it. Like, you guys will know what I'm talking about when you see it. Like, you know, like, oh my God. I did not watch the trailer, you guys. So for your saying, if you've seen the trailer and you're like, oh, I already know all of this, I didn't see the trailer. So I was going into this movie completely blind. I didn't watch the trailers. The only thing I saw was, like, the comparisons between the popular songs with Ariana Grande's version and Kristen's version. And, you know, I really tried not to do it because I wanted to not, when I'm watching it, go back and go, oh, Kristen Chatwin did this one and Ariana Grande did this one better. I don't want to compare them because they're two different. They're two great actresses and they're taking on the role as they see fit. And I think that they both did an amazing job. And I think that the same way I didn't want to, you know, compare the songs between Cynthia's versions of her songs and Dina's versions, I just didn't want to compare them. I wanted to go into this film basically clean slate without comparing the two. And I know a lot of people can't do that because a lot of people love the Broadway musical. And I haven't seen the full Broadway musical of Indina and Kristen's, unfortunately. And so I've seen clips of theirs here and there. So I am able to, I guess, look at this film and go, oh, okay, you know. I do want to watch it one day if I can find it. I'm actually going to do a research and try to find it. But I went into this basically just basing it off of brand new eyes, brand new fresh ears. You know, I've heard the songs from both Indina and Kristen, but the songs, I mean, not seen the show, but the songs I've listened to them. So, but I think for me, I'm able to separate the two and see that this is not their version. This is a whole different version, just a movie version, and the movie version is gonna be different. And I also heard that they sing them that Arya and Cynthia did their music live, so they were singing live. So it's even better when you know that, and you know that the hard work that they put into bringing these characters to life and doing them justice, especially with those who love the Broadway musical. I think they did a good job, in my opinion. You can disagree with it. I just think the chemistry and the music and the energy that was felt was really good. And, you know, I can't wait for part 2, and I look forward to it. And just everybody did a great job in this movie. Definitely would recommend. So please go see it. Please, if you have the opportunity, go check it out and see it. And, you know, once you do, tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you think of the film. Tell me what you agree with. Tell me what you don't disagree. Tell me what you disagree with. Just, like I said, if you see my other videos, if you haven't seen my other videos, I get tongue-tied on a lot of words, and you know, it's not on purpose. So excuse me if I mispronounce things. It's not on purpose. It's not to be disrespectful. Sometimes that happens to me. So if you are coming onto this channel and you're becoming a new subscriber, if you like what you hear and what you see, you want me to react to Wicked on this channel. My sister hasn't seen the movie, and I probably will have to convince her to see it. So it probably won't be her willingly going to go see the film. I probably will have to wait till it come on streaming, and then we sit down and watch it together on the channel. But yeah, so like, I think that this is definitely a movie I recommend. I know I said that already, but I just want to reiterate that it's definitely something worth going to go see. It's definitely worth, if you have money to see it. Don't go see it if you don't have the money to go see it. You know, you can wait at home and wait for it to come available. But if you do have the means to go see this movie, I recommend that you do. It's a really good film, and everybody did a good job, and I applaud all the hard work that went into this film, and I can't wait for part 2. So that's my thoughts. I know I went on a rampage, and I probably repeated myself a bunch of times, but I really think that this movie was worth it. And I'm glad that and I'm saying that because I was convinced to go. I wasn't going to go see it, and not because I don't like it. I was like, oh, I can wait till it come on streaming, and then I can watch it, you know, in the comfort of my own home. But I'm really glad that, you know, I was pushed to go see it because, like I said, The Wizard of Oz is one of my favorite films. And I see the comparisons between Glinda and between why Elphaba became the Wicked Witch of the West. And it's a beautiful story. Like, please go watch it. Recommend. Okay, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Please leave your thoughts down below. Please tell me what you thought of the film, if you've seen the film, if you haven't seen the film, or, you know, if you plan to see the film, tell me, you know, once you see the film, what you thought. I mean, I love to hear all opinions. If you didn't like it, tell me why you didn't like it. Just come here. Communicate. Just tell me what you thought. But anyway, thank you guys if you've watched this, and like, subscribe, comment on the channel. We love you guys. Thank you for everything.